Guys, what's up? What's up? First of all, yes, I do have a cold sore. That's why I haven't made any videos or done any stories. But by the time I wait for this thing to clear up, I'm just not gonna be on social media. Whatever, it's a cold sore. Everybody gets one. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna do a story tonight. I want to say my story tonight. It's kind of a testimony, but somebody else's testimony. The reason I want to do this story is because it was really cool me being part of this guy's testimony because it was freaking me out as it went along. And it shouldn't have surprised me because, hello, God is God and he just does all these cool things all the time. But I guess how the guy just had so much faith and how everything just fell into place, it's what kind of had me like, oh my God, I'm like, God, you're really listening to this guy's prayer right now. Anyways, let's just get started. All right, so back in 2014, I used to work for Toyota and I used to sell cars. So I used to get all types of customers all the time. You sell cars, you're gonna know what customer it is. Every day, zero down, zero credit, $250 a month on a really expensive car. Every day you get that customer. Guys, I'm telling you, in the car business, it just does not fail. You get that customer on a daily. I'm talking about 5-6 times a day, you get that same customer. When I first started selling cars, I didn't know that customer would come to me like 4 or 5 times a day. So I was really helpful at first until they kind of just ended up getting to me. It got to me because customers are coming to you for help, really honest, like, Mamita, I don't have any down payment. I don't have any credit right now. Can you really help me? And you want to, of course, you really want to help the person. 1, because you get the sale, and 2, because you really get to help the person. Selling cars is actually really cool. You feel good about yourself when you help somebody out, that couldn't afford the car. After a while, you're just like, man, I want to help everybody, but, this dude doesn't let me help you. Like, bro, I can't put you in a $35,000 Camaro right now. Like, work with me. How I get mad. Like, I get mad real quick when it comes to stuff like that because I'm like, bro, I'm really trying to help you out, but you have to think like you're not gonna get approved for this really expensive car. So anyways, I had to give you guys that background so you guys can understand why at first I was so skeptical when this guy is telling me all of this stuff. Occasions, yes, I did get that Christian customer, and I've been out of church for 8 years, but I don't doubt faith and I don't doubt God. You know what I mean? Every now and then, I would get that one Christian customer that would be like, oh, I already know God is going to put me in a car today. Amen. Glory. Hallelujah. And it would be like this crazy situation. Like, oh, God is going to put me in that 2014 $26,000 RAV4 with like no money, no credit, no nothing. At this point, obviously, the customer did not get the car because all the math and all the banks rejected all those applications. So it would be like, oh, it wasn't God's time. No. It's that you weren't looking at the right car. Anyways, I got those customers on a daily. I'm talking about like doctors, lawyers, teachers, you name it, people with degrees. And it's like people just don't know how to buy cars, I swear. Okay, so one day I was just, doing my job, whatever. And I greet this customer and I'm like, hey, welcome to Toyota. What can I do for you? And he gives me the same speech. So at this point, I'm like, here we go. His speech was different because he was a pastor. And he came at me. You could tell that he was just like this really decent, humble guy. Introduces himself and he's a pastor, so he's like, God bless you, I'm pastor, whatever his name was. And then he's like, I have a small church and I really need a car. And he's like, but listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know my credit is not that great. I have 0 down, but I can only afford $250 a month. He's like, but I really need a car because I have to pick up my church members. And I know that I'm leaving with a car today because God told me, God took me to this dealership. I know I'm leaving with a car and you're going to sell it to me. Sorry, we're taking a little interlude because I got a little emotional. I don't know, I was a little emotional. Yo sé qué pasó, a veces me pongo emocional con esta cosa. He tells me that it wasn't that I doubted him or anything like that. It was just like, all right, you gave me the cool speech that now you caught my heart. What's part 2 to this? What are you looking for? He gives me that genuine speech. Usually church people had done that. I thought part 2 was like, so yeah, I'm looking for a 4Runner that's $42,000. I swear on my life, that was part 2 to every story. You're going to tell me this heartwarming thing. You don't have any credit, no down, but you're looking for the most expensive car on the lot. And it's just like, bro, I just got tired of hearing that story. I just always felt like telling them like, yo, why don't you just like humble yourself a little bit? Like, you're aware of your situation. You don't have good credit. You don't have it down. So let me just find you any car. But when you did that, or I tried to do that the nicest way possible, they hated every car option because they wanted that $25,000 Camaro. Anyways, back to the pastor. So then I'm like, all right, what's part 2 to this story? He's like, the only thing I'm looking for is that the car has to be certified. If you don't know what certified means, is when you're buying a used car, certified means that it's still under some type of warranty to where you can actually get the car fixed. I'm like, all right, it's starting to sound good. You know, he wasn't looking for a $25,000 Camry. He was just looking for some. And now I know that he's looking for a used car. So I'm like, all right, I could do that. And this is where he gets me. He's like, and the car has to be about around $10,000. And I'm like, I was like, okay. And if you work in cars, you get those customers too. Somebody wants a new car, it's the zero down, zero whatever 250 payment. But when they're looking for a used car, I swear they're always looking for a $10,000 car. Point, he's totally cool. I'm gonna help this guy out because now I'm like, okay, he's more humble, he's more realistic. But I'm just like, but I don't have a certified 10,000. Have a certified $10,000 car. Like, I'm like, there's no way. I had worked at that Toyota probably about 6 or 7 months already. Have never seen a $10,000 certified car because certified cars usually are a little bit pricier. They usually start at 12, 13, 14 up, and then they have less mileage. You know what I mean? So that's why I knew I didn't have. This is where he gets me. He's like, no. He's like, I know you have it. He's like, let's go look on the lot. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I really don't have a car like that. Like, all right, let me just check online because it was really hot and I didn't want to walk all the way to the used car lot because it was really big lot. So I'm looking online. There's nothing online. So we have to walk. We have to walk the lot. So I'm like, all right. So in my head, I'm like, all right, $10,000. I was like, he's probably getting like a really crappy old car for $10,000 because I can't put him into like a Corolla. I worked at Toyota. I know even a used Corolla is still gonna be really pricey. So I'm like, I can't put him in a Corolla. Probably gonna do like an American car or something like that. And I don't want you guys to think that I was doubting faith or God or anything. It was just, you know, I knew I didn't have that car. So I didn't want to look on the lot and all the cars are like this. And I'm reading out the prices to them because I can see them. I'm like, you see, I was like, look, that one's 14,000, 13,000. I was like, oh, 17,000. I was like, just like, yo, I really want to help you, but I don't have that car. He tells me, what about this one? Yo, that car had to have fallen from heaven. Look at the car and the price is $10,000 and it had the big certified warranty thing from Toyota. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't know what to do with myself. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, there was a mistake. I'm checking the stock number. I'm checking everything on that car because I think that it was a mistake. Just in case it wasn't a mistake, I'm like, I punch in my key. I'm like, I'm grabbing the key because if this isn't a mistake, this is the car for you. I have to hold on to the key. Mind you, at this point, we hadn't done a credit application. We hadn't done anything. Like, you know, we just found the car and we hadn't even done the application yet. I go to my desk manager and I'm like, hey guys, I just want to check this stock number. Is the price and everything on this car correct? Because I've never seen this before. Manager punches it in and he's like, yeah, that's correct. And I'm like, but it's certified and it's 10. He's like, yeah, we get those like every now and then. He's like, we just put that out there. He's like, you already got a buyer for it? Like, yeah, I got a buyer. He's like, we haven't even put that car online. Like, it literally just, I promise God put it there because it hadn't even gone online yet. My manager tells me, he's like, Abby, you can't haggle that car. He's like, whoever's getting that car has to buy it at 10,000. I'm not haggling this car because that's a great deal. I'm like, no, I know it is. At this point, you know, we test drive the car. We do everything. Everything's great. He loves the car. Good AC, good condition. I mean, that car, low mileage, perfect car. We do the application and I'm like, all right, it's a used car. The interest rate is going to be higher. He wants a 250 payment, no down. How are we going to do this? I don't know how we did this. My manager did the application. He did everything. He's like, all right. He put all the numbers, everything together. You know, if you work in the car business, you know, you have to do that whole back and forth. Like, well, let me see, talk to your manager. My manager did what we call that a pencil. He did one pencil, one. And he's like, Abby, this is the best deal on this car, the best number. I'm not haggling. He's like, close this deal because if he doesn't want it, he can leave. My desk manager doesn't know the situation. You know what I mean? This is how all desk managers treat all customers. So I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, it's probably going to be like a $300-something payment. First pencil I get, payment, $248 and change. I'm like, how the... I'm looking at the application like, what? I'm like in awe and I come back to him and he's like, did I get approved? He's like, is my payment around $250? I'm like, oh, I couldn't get you $250. Trying to play a joke with him. I was just trying to like put him in doubt, but no, he stood by his faith and he's like, no, he's like, I know you got my payment. And I'm like, yo, I got you $248. Man is just smiling and he's like, okay, where do I sign? And I'm like, wow, he didn't haggle, nothing. Like he just knew like, hey, listen, this is what I came for. I got it. That's it. I'm sorry. Again, it's not that I'm doubting or anything. It's just, it had been a while that I see someone Christian like that. Like it's so, I was just in awe of that. So I I asked him, I was like, hey, you really knew, like you really prayed and God gave you a car? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I prayed last night and God took me to this dealership. It was like, God took me to you too. He's like, I had been walking that lot already and nobody had said anything to me. He's like, but when I saw you, God was like, she's the one that's going to sell you the car. When he said that, like I got all tingly inside. You know how it's just like, you just already know that it's like God is really talking to you. You're like, man, like God really puts people like at the right place at the right time. Like he prayed for this and he got literally everything he asked for. What I love is that he was completely aware of his situation and he was just like, listen, I just need a car. And since he wasn't so picky, he got a really good car. Trust me, a used Corolla certified, that car's gonna last him like 20 years. If you guys know how Toyotas are? That people nowadays, like everybody prays, but they just expect things to fall from heaven. It's like, no, but you gotta work. You can't pray for an A and not study. You're gonna fail. You can't be 6 months without a job and praying every day for a job, but you don't have a resume, you're not putting applications, you're not going to look for jobs. Like, that's not how God works. That's not how prayer works. Like the same concept, like let's say you have a garden and you want to grow some avocados and you plant a seed, but then you don't water it, you don't take care of it, that avocado tree is never going to grow. That's what prayer is. Prayer is a seed. Like, hey God, I have a job interview tomorrow, please help me, this and this and that, and boom, you'll get the job because you already planted the seed. A firm believer that God blesses everyone, whether you go to church, whether you don't go to church. If you pray and you really need God's help, God is going to help you, God is going to bless you. God doesn't have the mentality of a human. Humans are not helpful. You make a mistake with a friend and you ask her for your help, she's never going to help you. God is not like that. God will always help you. I am 100% sure that God blesses each and every one of us every day. It doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter if you go to church or not, whatever. God is a very loving and caring God. Do, however, believe with all my heart, and just because of my church background, I don't think that God rewards lazy. Reward and blessing are two different things. Like I said, if you're going to be a lazy person, like let's say you got to study for a test and you're not studying, you had a whole week to study for this test. Oh, I'm not going to study. I'm just going to, God is going to help me. No, you're being completely lazy. Like you had a whole week to study. You can't just be like, oh, God is going to help me. No, God doesn't reward lazy. You're going to get an F on that test, a big old F. So be more active. You know what I mean? Like, hey, God, oh my God, I have a really big test on Friday. Study the whole week. Study, and pray. Oh, you'll get an A. Trust me. Let me stop because then this is going to turn into a whole big preaching. I'm going to have to go grab my Bible. Then I'm going to have to go grab my sister to collect the offering. It's going to be a whole church up in here. Moral of the story is, if you have a good, pure heart and you're praying for something, doesn't matter what it is, trust me, don't lose your faith. God will give it to you. I've been a witness. Aquí mi parte, que el Señor los bendiga a todos. Vamos a tener a hermana Carmen que con la despedida del culto y que están vendiendo alcapurria para Pro Templo después del servicio. Amén.